From his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Happy to be hanging out with you in studios every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I appreciate everybody out there that is doing the best that they could do, doing right by others, and having themselves a great life. It is not easy, I understand, to get out there and be happy and put a smile on your face even when you're feeling sad and even when people are hurting your feelings and hurting your heart. And, you know, I know it's not easy when you want things to get done and they don't get done. And people say they're going to be there and they're not there, or something's going to happen and it doesn't happen. I get that. But, you know, we all go through this stuff together. We all have these moments together, and it's not easy. But it is worth it. It is always worth the fight. And so I appreciate every single one of you that's out there fighting your butts off, giving all you can, being the best you can be, having the fun that you can have, and making the most out of the life you got, because that's what it's all about. So happy Tuesday, happy every day to each and every single one of you. I hope that you have the best day that you could possibly have. So with that being said, let's hop into the morning menu because we got a lot to discuss today.
Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We like to start off the show by giving you our menu of topics. The morning menu, that is. Live now with the morning menu is Dan Tortora.
Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. We're here to have some fun every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully spread some knowledge, spread some wisdom, and ultimately have some good conversation. Laugh, maybe cry some happy tears. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? What did Jim Valvano say? If you think, laugh, and cry in a day, you had one hell of a day. In a good way. So let's have the best day that we could possibly have. I hope that your day is already starting out awesome. And once again, I want to give a shout out to Johnny who came onto the show and faced a bet. You know, he put his money where his mouth is. You know, he had bet that Golden State would not win Game 4. They did. He said, if they win, I will shave my chest. And he came on the air and he did exactly that. He was a man of his word. And we are almost at 300 views this morning just on Facebook alone of him shaving his chest. We are just about to hit 300 views this morning on Facebook alone. Not on YouTube or my website or anywhere else. Just on Facebook alone. So shout out to you, Johnny, because your chest is now famous. So big ups to you for being a part of the show. And speaking of being a part of the show, on today's broadcast, we're going to be discussing a lot of different things. We have Eric Devendorf coming on in about 20 minutes from Boeheim's Army. So we're going to speak with Eric Devendorf about the upcoming Boeheim's Army season. We're also going to speak with him on the Syracuse Orange men's basketball team and the return of Tyus Battle. And then we'll go into the second hour where Christian Hood, who is a 2020 recruit for Syracuse football, will be joining me. Christian Hood, 2020, yet already has 3 offers. Arizona, Iowa State, and Syracuse have offered him. So he's going to be joining me on the broadcast and giving his take on his recruitment. And then, of course, every Tuesday we end the show with Ingredients to Success, proudly brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and it's a Utica thing. So that'll be happening toward the end of today's show as well. So, lot to discuss, lot to get into. For the first few minutes this morning, I want to give a shout out to the amazing response that we have gotten already of people that want to be in this Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge. Our spots, now our draft is in August. We have already had Eric sign up, Melvin, we've had Justin, L sign up, Zach, Mark W., Danny T, which is not me, another Danny, Johnny, Jimmy, Aaron. We also have Johnny's parents that signed up, so they want to come at it. They want to see what they can do. So we got the rents in the game. My wife Kate is making it happen. She won a championship within the last 2 years. She's back in. John Newman, who you know from Newman Sports Cards, his son Jordan, Justin T, Becky, Greg, and Steve have all signed up already. We have over 20 spots that are filled in this Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Bracket Challenge. So jump into it now, folks. We already have a ton of spots filled. This is June 19th, and so we got about 2 months or so until we draft, right around 2 months, and we've already filled 20 some odd spots. So your time to get in is now. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. If you want to be in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge, let a brother know, because, like I said, we've had a humongous response from you, and that is amazing. It's a testament to the work that we do with the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge. We have phenomenal live draft parties at the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York, in the Home Depot Plaza, which is a family-friendly event, so you can bring your kids, you can bring your families, you can husband, wife, brother, sister, doesn't matter, everybody can come. So that's a huge part of the success, I believe, is because Danny and Heather do a phenomenal job at making a nice environment for everybody. And on top of that, we try to do a nice promotion for you with being in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge in connection with the Wildcat. And we have the Lombardi Trophy that we give out. We have a smaller version, yet very heavy version of the Lombardi Trophy that has your name and everything on it, the year that you won, the name of your team. So we're giving those out to the champions from last year during the draft parties, and we're giving away the Toilet Bowl trophies as well, those Toilet Bowl trophies to last place, which are really funny and pretty cool. So thank you to Pen and Trophy. So we do it right. We work with the Pen and Trophy Center of East Syracuse, with the Wildcat Sports Pub of Camillus, and we put this big event together between them and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to bring you the best of the best fantasy football feels that you can get. So make sure, if you haven't signed up, that you sign up to be in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge today, and do not hesitate. It is free to do it, folks. So waiting, kind of seeing what's going to happen, wondering if you should, you're probably going to get passed. So the time to sign up for the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge is right now, and make sure that you do that if you haven't signed up yet. We want to get you in, and we want to get you ready for this thing. So sign up for the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge today. With that being said, and as we continue on the conversation on Wake Up Call, before we get Eric Devendorf onto the show, big ups to Eric for all the work that he has done to get back onto the coaching staff. A couple years ago, he came on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and he said, I'm really trying to get on the Syracuse staff. I got some things in the works. Don't be surprised if you see something within the next couple months. And sure enough, he was back on the staff, and now is the assistant strength and conditioning coach, helping out that wonderful staff that is filled with great, great people. Alan Griffin and Brad Pike and Kip Wellman and Jerry McNamara, of course, Jim Boeheim, Adrian Autry, Katie Kolinsky was on that staff recently. Just a beautiful, beautiful staff of hardworking people that was put together for Syracuse Orange men's basketball. And so we're going to speak with Eric Devendorf on that. We're going to talk with him on some of his memories and things that he's taken away from his time when he was on the court and whatnot. So we'll have some good conversation with Eric Devendorf, as we always do. We'll get you ready for Boeheim's Army, because they are going to be coming up and playing very soon here, and I know a lot of fans are super excited about what's to come with Boeheim's Army, and you should be excited, because it's going to be an awesome time, and they always go out there and bring it. And the cool thing about Boeheim's Army is that they've only gotten better, and they've only surged forward and had the opportunity to progressed last season and took that opportunity and brought it to the Final Four of the TBT. We're very close to winning the grand prize, and now they're at it again, this time with Hakeem Warwick. Brandon Trish is back. James Sutherland, Deshaunte Riley, who was on the show last week, Chris Joseph, Paul Harris, John Gillen, and Ryan Blackwell is the head coach, and of course Kevin Belby's back as the general manager of this team. So we're going to have that discussion on Boeheim's Army in just a little bit. So very excited about this and excited about what's to come. The jerseys are only getting better, and that's the cool thing about it, is we've gotten to see these TBT tournament jerseys get even more stylish, even more legit. Puma is on these, and I mean they've been put together big time. So I'm actually going to put this on here and let you see it on our Twitter account, which is @CallDT. That's CALLDT. So make sure, if you're not following me there, with the over 2,100 of you that are, shout out to each and every one of you. Thank you for that. So make sure that you jump in on this on Twitter @CallDT. That's CALLDT. Happy to make the top 3 posts of the TBT this morning on Twitter, and I'm sending out to you what these jerseys look like this morning so that you can get a feel for what's to come and a feel for these jerseys for Boeheim's Army, because I know there's a ton of Syracuse fans out there that are very, very excited. And, you know, you go out to these games, you make it a point to be there. I mean, the support of Syracuse is astronomical. It's undeniably amazing just what Syracuse does. And, you know, to bring everybody around this TBT like they do, it's truly, it's beautiful. It's insane. You know, to see just how fans react to any opportunity that they have to see a current Syracuse player, a former Syracuse player, you know, it goes beyond. It goes beyond the call of duty. Syracuse fans love themselves some Syracuse, and however they can get it, wherever they can get it, they take it. And that's the beauty of this. Now, there's going to be this rule called the Elam ending, and I want to give you the information on this. There's going to be a new rule to the TBT. So, TBT to implement groundbreaking rule change, the Elam ending, to be used in the games this year. Now, it's designed to eliminate deliberate fouling at the end of games and ensure that every game ends on a made basket. So, this is the rule change. First implemented during TBT's play-in round in 2017. So they tested it. Okay, so that's the other thing about the TBT, is that, you know, college basketball could be watching this thing. Men's Division I, that big tournament of 68 teams, could be watching this, because this is a testing ground to see if things work, you know, and they're willing to do it and willing to see what they could do in these instances. So maybe this is something that the NCAA can look at, because at least the TBT is trying it out. So last year they implemented a rule during the play-in round in 2017 called the Elam ending, designed by Mensa member and basketball superstar fan Dr. Nick Elam, which eliminates deliberate fouling at the end of games, ensuring that the final minutes are played at the same pace and flow as the rest of the game. Guarantees every game ends on a made basket. Under the rule, at the first dead ball after the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter, the game clock shuts off. A target score is set by adding 7 to the leading team's score. The first team to reach the target score wins. So, this is what was said by John Muger, the founder and CEO of TBT. Quote, "When we tested the Elam ending during our play-in games last year, we were floored by how much fans loved it. What Nick taught us is that deliberate fouling happens in 50% of games, but is only effective 1.5% of the time. So fans are having to put up with a strategy that sucks up time and rarely works. Data aside, the energy in the arena during the Elam ending portion of our games was awesome, and those teams were 7 wins away from $2 million. On August 3rd at about 10:50 p.m., someone will have to make a shot for $2 million. I can't wait for that moment. Prior to last year, end quote. So, Nick Elam blindly emailed TBT a 67-page document outlining his research, which came from examining more than 2,000 NBA and NCAA games. He found that half of those games ended with the trailing team employing a strategy of deliberately fouling, but that the strategy was only successful, once again, 1.5% of the time. So, TBT is now going to try out this rule and see what happens. So the first team to the target score will win. So once again, for those that are confused by what's going on here, essentially, a target score will be set by adding 7 to the leading team's score. The first team to reach the target score wins. So it's kind of like whatever the score is, when 4 minutes hits toward the end of this thing, it's that mad dash to score points. It's that mad dash to push forward, to surge forward, and to find a way. And they want to try and keep people from fouling. They want to try and keep you from slowing the game down, slowing the pace down, and putting you in this position where it's, where you're trying to methodically make it happen. But the research has shown that, according to Nick Elam, 50% of the time, these teams are fouling to slow the game down and try and win this game and get the game closer, but it only works 1.5% of the time. So he said, let's try something different. And that's exactly what the TBT is going to do. So when they tell you as a fan or as an outsider that you can never make a difference, understand that that's not true. Case in point, Nick Elam. And we're going to talk with Eric Devendorf about these new rules and what he thinks about them, because this is going to be an interesting situation now when, you can't just foul to get ahead. You can't just foul to make it happen. You have to essentially put yourself in a position where, you can get the job done. And, and by getting this job done, you're going to have to meet this score and mad dash to the score. And, they said they want the game to end on a made basket, which I think is pretty interesting. So we'll see what we can get done here this time around and what this is gonna look like, what this is gonna feel like. But I think it's pretty cool, a case in point, that they're gonna be testing it out and trying it out, because why not? Why not give it a try? Why not see if this plan set in place could work? And if it does, well, then like I said, does the NCAA institute anything that looks like it? Do they even consider it? Who knows? But at least we're going to get something different and something innovative. And that's what the TBT has been. I mean, for goodness sakes, the TBT, not only, you talk about being innovative, how about the fact that they have 72 teams instead of 68? And they have play-in games for the 15 seeds. They have play-in game, that 15 seed's not alone, the 16 seed isn't alone. So there's play-in games all over the place, and that team that's got to play the number 1 seed and the team that's got to play the number 2 seed is in a position right now to have to fight for their right to be inside of the tournament. And it's across the board the same. So it's not like, well, you're a 16 seed who doesn't have to worry about it, but you're one that does. So I think it's pretty cool that they're testing out different things. I think it's amazing that they're expanding even more so, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen from here. I really am excited to see where we're going to go with this, and the TBT is going to be awesome. I mean, I think that it's more than clear to say that, the TBT is going to be what it's been, which is an amazing game. I mean, I remember watching a game that Syracuse had last year, and my wife fell asleep, and here I am watching the game, and Syracuse was down by, I don't know, it was like 14 or 15 points. They came all the way back to get to a position where they could win the game, and then, lo and behold, they pulled it through. And, I mean, you can never count Syracuse out, not even of the TBT. And because this is winner take all, and it's that single elimination, you're in a place where it is like that NCAA tournament feel, and people are like, yeah, but it's all, you can't say, yeah, but it's only 16 teams. Yeah, but it's only 8 teams. Yeah, but it's only 30 teams. This is 72. They have more teams than March Madness. They have more madness than March Madness right now. So, to look at the fact that Philadelphia and South Jamaica are fighting against each other for a play-in game. Boeheim's Army is the number 1 seed in the Northeast. Scarlet and Gray, the Ohio State University alum, you know that's a really tough team if you've been watching the TBT in recent years. They're the number 1 seed in the Midwest, the number 1 seed and killing it year after year. In the South bracket this time around, we have Overseas Elite. They are an extremely difficult team to play. And then Team Challenge ALS, I am so extremely and undeniably proud that they got the number 1 seed, because what they're fighting for is so much bigger than basketball. They're number 1 in the West. So we're going to see, and I mean, Ram Nation, I love how Johnny's saying, we'll get to Johnny in a second. Ram Nation is there. We have, you look at all of these teams that are inside of this team. Fredette is going to be in it this time around and doing their thing. Pardon me. So these allergies are disgusting. I don't like it. Get rid of them, folks. Let's get rid of these allergies. Jimmer Fredette back inside of the TBT. I love watching me some Jimmer Fredette, so I'm happy that he's back inside. I'm happy that people are going to be able to see him. But, Gale Nation, the Iona alumni who Syracuse has played before, they're in Syracuse's bracket as well. There's just a lot of great teams. There's Tim Thomas Play. There's the HBC Sicklerville, which is the 2 seed in this bracket that Syracuse is inside of, that, has the likes of Tyler Hines, who played at Maryland Eastern Shore, Kyle Hines of UNC Greensboro, Dwayne Jackson from Morgan State, Nick Isabella from Clemson, as well as Charles Jenkins from Hofstra, Michael Jenkins from Winthrop University. They got a big-time they have a lot of guys on the roster. Quincy Miller from Baylor, Romeo Travis from the University of Akron, Alex Tyus from Florida. So, we're looking at these teams all throughout, 72 teams that are inside of this TBT bracket challenge. And as again, I am more than ecstatic that this has become a reality for us. And I think I'm going to put a TBT bracket together for Syracuse fans in Central and Upstate New York. I think I'm going to do a bracket challenge with y'all here. So let's make that happen. Let's make it real, and let's get her done, so to speak. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm 100% going to do that. I got to figure out how to get around what I need to do and whatnot, because I don't know if they have one that you can click through, but I'm going to try and make this thing happen for you all. Saturday, July 21st, 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time in Brooklyn is when Boeheim's Army plays their first game. They will play the winner of the play-in game between South Jamaica and Philadelphia. We'll take a step aside and come back in just a moment with Eric Devendorf live on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
For one day only, Sunday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the CNY Pop Festival brings sports and pop entertainers together, including Syracuse basketball's Decades of Boeheim, from Roosevelt Bowie Jr. to Dajuan Coleman, as well as Syracuse football alumni and actors from The Flash, Star Wars, The Gremlins, Power Rangers, and The Addams Family. Come to the CNY Pop Festival at the F Shed at the Regional Market. Buy VIP and pre-sale tickets now on CNYPopFestival.com.
Brought to you by Honda City Liverpool, Utica Pizza Company, and True by Hilton Camillus.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or ice milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Clothing that will change with you without you having to change. DreissiglLady.com, DREISSIG Lady.com. With the Bamboo line Relax Fit clothing as well as the Athletic Fit clothing, DreissiglLady.com is fit for any woman, any time of the day, anywhere. Whatever you're doing, whatever your day commands of you, command yourself to feel comfortable in Dreissig Lady Apparel. DREISSIG Lady.com. For all the women out there, feel good in what you're wearing. and don't feel like you have to constantly change throughout the day. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, going for a jog, going for a meeting, or just relaxing at home, DreisigLady.com is the right fit for you. DREISSIG Lady.com.
This is Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson for Gilbo Realty. Call our home office at 315-752-9513, or better yet, call or text me directly at 315-748-2524.
Let me ask you a question, Lawrence. If I needed you to help me buy a house, find the right place, could you help me do that?
Joe, I'll help you find your dream home.
You don't ever say my name on the radio, never. If I needed to sell a house, could you help me go about that the right way?
Yes, I can.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me directly at 315-748-2524.
But you also do the commercial property. So if I got a business, couple businesses, got to take one here, move it over there, do this, do that, are you going to help me buy and sell my commercial property also?
Yes, sir.
I like that. What's my name again?
I have no idea.
Absolutely, but they need to know your name, so give it one more time.
This is Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson for Gilbo Realty. My phone number is 315-748-2524.
Why don't you tell them your name one more time and that number so we can jot it down?
This is Lawrence Papaleo. Call me or text me directly at 315-748-2524.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Always proud to have you inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And always happy to have this gentleman on the show, Eric Devendorf. Man has come a long way in his time from being at Syracuse and going throughout his career there to standing on top of the scorer's table in Madison Square Garden all the way to still playing ball inside of Boeheim's Army. So I'm elated and very honored to have him be back on the show for everything he's done in our community and for everything he's done in the basketball community. With that being said, Eric, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, first and foremost, Eric, I mean, I've heard from Ryan Blackwell. I mean, I've heard from Alan Griffin and I think Adrian. I mean, everybody's pretty much told me that, you know, you still get after it when you're inside the mellow, that, you know, you're going one-on-one, you're playing these guys. They said you're still a nuisance on the court. How would you respond to that?
I mean, I definitely still got some game. You know, I still love to play. I mean, I love the game. That's my passion. That's what I love to do every day. You know, whether it's playing or, you know, working guys out or just, you know, being around the game. That's my passion, what I love to do. So, but yeah, I definitely can still do it a little bit.
And, you know, what would you say about, you know, keeping your body right? Because, you know, keeping your body healthy, keeping yourself in a position to continue to play. What have you done in your daily life to keep yourself right out there so you could do what you need to do on the court?
Well, for me, you know, it's just like a lifestyle thing. Every day, like in my routine, it consists of being in the gym. So whether it's, you know, being in the weight room doing some stuff or being out on the court. But I think the biggest thing for me, you know, these past, you know, 3-4 years or 2-3 years, was just eating good. I changed my whole diet up. I cut out meat, you know, a lot of veggies and fruits and, you know, drinking a lot of water. You know, obviously I still got to, you know, work on the sweets and things like that. But overall, I think, you know, just eating better has really helped me out.
Speaking here with Eric Devendorf, formerly of Syracuse and also currently of Boeheim's Army. Eric, you know, did you ever think that something like this could be possible, where you would play for Syracuse, you would have those phenomenal moments at 6 overtime game? I mean, everything that has come with your career and your time at Syracuse, which was so big and so amazing and fans loved it, to move to where we are today, where fans can see you again, you're wearing orange and again, you're out there playing in these tournaments. Did you ever think that something like this could be filling up some of your time in the summer? And was this ever something that you thought about deep somewhere in your mind, or are you just completely floored about how something like this came about?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I never really thought about it. It never really, thought I'd be playing in a tournament for money, and having this type of support from the fans, and getting to play back with guys that I grew up watching play, Hakeem Warwick, and I obviously playing with guys like Darryl Watkins and Terrence Roberts, Demetrius Nichols, and then now me being a veteran, and these younger guys who watch me play, me getting to play with them. And I coached John Gillen 1 year, and now he's playing at my things like that. It's pretty crazy, man, when you think about all those experiences that you go through just because of this tournament in the summer. So it's awesome that it brings our family of Syracuse guys back together, for those 2-3 weeks. The last four summers have been 3 summers have been pretty incredible. So just pretty grateful that we have an opportunity to do something like this.
And I was talking about last year how I'm watching you guys play. I'm seeing this game, and my wife, I'm sitting in the office. I'm doing some work. I'm watching the game. You guys are down by double digits. My wife falls asleep. She's like, I can't watch them lose. I don't want to see the team lose. She falls asleep. I'm watching it. I'm nudging her as you're getting closer. Now you're down by 8. Now you're down by 7. Now it's a one-possession game. You guys end up overtaking it and winning the game. I mean, this whole Syracuse never dies approach has leaked into Boeheim's Army. I think that's fair to say.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, it's it's in our blood. It's in our DNA. That's what we do. That's what we're used to. We never give up. We always going to keep fighting and leave it out there on the floor. So just grateful for the opportunity to be able to even get out there and do it again and lace them up. Especially with guys that you love and played with before or watched play growing up.
And for you, like you had mentioned, I mean, there's guys that, you've been on the staff at Syracuse recently here, so there's guys that have been on the team that you're overseeing and trying to help. Then you have teammates, and then you have, other people that you didn't have an opportunity to play with, all coming together in this opportunity for Boeheim's Army. And Eric, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have allergies right now, God bless you, because Central New York right now is horrible. So, but when it comes to this stuff, I can't, as a broadcaster, I'm done with it. But, when you look at, kind of putting everything together and having guys that you were overseeing as a member of the staff to former teammates to guys that you haven't played with, when that all comes together, I mean, this has got to be truly a remarkable experience, kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing for you.
Yeah, man, it's all family. Once you, become a part of, the Syracuse University and basketball team, it's family. So, when I remember myself, playing, seeing DC and Lawrence Moten, and, you meet him and talk to him, and you feel like you've known him forever, your whole life. That's how they make you feel, and that's how, the Syracuse basketball family makes each other feel. So it's very welcoming, and as soon as we step out on that floor, it's like we've been doing it together forever. That's how it feels. So it's pretty awesome to be able to have that, and have people in an organization that can bring that.
That coming from Eric Devendorf of Boeheim's Army. And Eric, before we get back to Boeheim's Army, I want to go to what you've been doing. I mean, you came on the show within the past few years, and you said to me, hey, I'm trying to get myself back to Syracuse, back in the Dome. There could be something in the works about me being a part of this staff. Stay tuned. And I think it was within 3-4 months that you ended up getting a job. You said it, and then here it is in reality, that positive reinforcement, belief in yourself. And since then, since you coming on the show, kind of talking about it a little bit, you've been on the staff, you've been a part of Syracuse's recent runs. What has it meant to you to have the dream and the hope of being on Syracuse's staff, and then seeing that become a reality, and then now it's been a few years? Just what that means to you to be on the outside looking in, and then get back on the inside and be a part of this thing.
Oh, it just, it goes to show how loyal Coach Boeheim is to guys who want to be there and show that they're willing to put the work in. And again, basketball is my passion. It's what I love to do. I love being around Syracuse. And so it was just a fit, man. And I went to Coach, and I really told him that, and told him how I feel, and I want to be a part of it. And again, he accepted me, and these 2 years, going on my third year, have been incredible. The knowledge that I've been able to soak up just from being in the meetings with Coach Boeheim and all the other coaches, it's priceless. It's something that you don't get, on a day-to-day. So for me to be able to be in there and get that, I think it just gives me an advantage to, as I go forward in the coaching ranks or whatever it may be. So I'm super blessed and grateful to be able to have that.
And to be, on the strength and conditioning staff and to be an assistant there, just what has that taught you? Because, you've discussed keeping your body right and keeping yourself in playing condition. Just what you can say about being a part of this staff and what you've learned from the people around you at Syracuse.
Again, just learning more about how to eat right. Like you said, keeping my body right, when to rest. More stretching. Obviously, as you get older, myself, you have to stretch and do more tedious things that you didn't have to do when you were younger. So, me just being able to learn that and kind of share that with these guys so they can have a step ahead and an advantage in the competition. So, again, super grateful. The whole staff, Brad Pike, Ryan Kabilas, the coaching staff, everybody has been awesome, and I've just been learning a ton.
You're a part of this staff, you're a part of this team last season that a lot of people counted out and didn't think that they would move forward, even get into the tournament. You saw them be successful, you saw them get into that play-in game, and were a part of this entire run of working with this team, this group of guys, which felt like 5, 6, sometimes 5.5 with Brahma being hurt, and getting to a point where they can move into the Sweet 16. What impressed you about this year's team, and is it one of the most impressive teams that you think has ever been in Syracuse history for doing what they did with what they had?
It's just heart and hustle. That's what these guys brought to the floor every night. Didn't matter who we were playing. We played North Carolina, we played Duke, or we play a lower level team. Whoever it is, they're going out there and giving it their all. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to turn the ball over. They're going to miss shots. They're young, but they're learning on the go, and they did a terrific job of doing that throughout the whole season. And what a magical run in the tournament that they made. Nobody even, thought we were going to be a part of it. So for them to do that and believe in themselves and to come together as a team was pretty unbelievable to watch, and I was just happy to be a part of it.
What was it about last year's team that just brought about that feeling, that determination, that the success that they had? Because they knew the outside noise, they knew the injuries, they knew that, there was out of the top 5 scorers from a season before, only one was returning in Tyus Battle. Frank had never really had to be a scorer on the team up until last season. So with all of these things seemingly outside looking in, working against them, what did you see inside of that locker room, inside of practice with these guys, even off the court? What were you seeing that made you believe, wow, these guys are figuring it out?
These guys were always together, whether it's on the court or off the court. These guys believed in each other. They cheered one another on the bench. They never went behind each other's back and said anything. It was all togetherness. And you need that, especially when you're going to go through ups and downs through the year, which we did. These guys stuck together and they believed in one another. And when you do that, you give, confidence to each individual on a team, and that spreads. And when everybody has that, it's usually a team that's winning games. So, obviously this upcoming year, we have, a lot of guys coming back, and the experience from that run is definitely going to help us towards this season, with the additions of a couple new guys. So, this last season was unbelievable. Now we're looking forward to, maybe making an even deeper run in next year.
Speaking here with Eric Devendorf, a former Syracuse player, current player on Boeheim's Army, and on the strength and conditioning staff for Syracuse Orange men's basketball as we move forward, and this being his 3rd upcoming season being a part of the staff. Eric, Tyus Battle makes a decision to come back. He feels that ultimately having a junior season at Syracuse is the right way to go for him. O'Shea Brissett, he comes back as well. I didn't really have any inkling from speaking with him throughout the season, especially in tournament time, that he had any desire to necessarily leave. He had said to me about leadership. He said, it was right in Omaha. It was after the game. I spoke with him about, what are his thoughts about leadership and what he's taken away in his future. And he said, listen, Frank and Tyus have done such a great job to be leaders and to teach me. And so when these guys come in next year as true freshmen and they're going through things that I went through and making mistakes that I've made, doing things that I've done, I got to step up. I got to be a leader. And that was immediately, 15 minutes after they had lost to Duke, that he was talking about how he needs to be the leader that he knows he's capable of being. What does it say to you with Tyus coming back, with O'Shea coming back, and when you hear this desire in O'Shea to be that leadership that can carry this team forward, even though Frank and Tyus are still going to be there, that O'Shea has put it upon himself to be a leader as a sophomore, a true sophomore, moving forward?
Well, I think O'Shea is, one of the most talented players in the country. And then coming back, having that experience, like you said, he's going to be a leader and show these young guys coming in, the steps and what it takes to, be successful on the court. He's been working super hard throughout the summer. So I know he'll be ready, to take that next step. I mean, he can be an All-American candidate. He just has to stay focused, be consistent in his daily routine, and we, man, he's going to be the key in a Final Four run for us. So look forward to it.
And to have Alan Griffin be back in the building, he spent some time on the staff as a grad assistant, and then left and ultimately ended up at Dayton before he came back to Syracuse. What's it been like having Alan? Because I know that you got to be around Mike in different ways. You got to be around Mike as a player. You got to be around Mike in general when you came back around the program. What's life been like with Alan Griffin?
Oh man, unbelievable! Al, that's my guy right there. He's just great with the guys. Everybody loves him. I mean, he's a part of the Syracuse family. He's been there since 2002 or something like that. So everybody knows Griff, and everybody was happy to have him back. So he brings a lot to the table, and I'm learning a lot from him every day. So I'm just lucky to have him there.
Not having Mike Hopkins on the staff, but seeing the success he's had, Pac-12 Coach of the Year, brought that team from obscurity before he got there the season before to getting to a point where they had a push to almost make the NCAA tournament. What can you say about, I know that the character of Mike Hopkins. I got to meet him when I was 14. He coached my summer camp that I was a part of, and ever since that moment to the moment now, within the last few years, this guy has been phenomenal. He's always positive energy, smiles, giving you a big hug, just helping to bring people up. His energy is extremely contagious. So it's not in Syracuse anymore. I know a lot of people miss that, but what can you say about how successful he's been? Is it any surprise to you that he's already had a tremendous effect on that team?
No surprise at all. If anyone who knows Hop, they knows what he brings to the table is different. Not everybody has what he has, the energy and the personality, the way he connects with people and the way he gets people to listen, the way he can just, when he's speaking, he can, make everybody stop and have all eyes on him. Just a great person, a great human being, and someone that I, learned from, the game of basketball. Really, I owe a ton of credit to him. Just learning how to, work guys out, how to connect with players, and how to, go about it on a day-to-day basis, man. We've had talks about, basketball, but about life just in general. So I owe a lot of my, success, so to speak, to him. And, I talk to him and just, I want to keep soaking up, the knowledge that he has, because, he's one of my mentors, and I'm again happy and super blessed to have him in my life.
Before I let you go, Eric, we've spoken about kind of coaches taking their journeys, Alan Griffin journeying back, Mike Hopkins journeying out to Washington. When you look on your journey and everything that has happened since you've been a player at Syracuse, bring me some of those points on that journey, on that timeline for you that you really can stop and appreciate when you look at being a player here all the way back to now being a part of this staff and being a part of the future of the lives of these student athletes?
You know what? I think it's just you got to enjoy the journey, man. It's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be, times where you want to quit and you want to stop, but you got to be grateful for everything that happens in between, the time you're here and gone. I mean, because it could be like that. We were just talking about earlier, off record about how fast our kids grow up. You just got to be, thankful for everything that happens, and that includes the bad and the good. So I'm thankful for everything. My ups and downs when I played at Syracuse, in between all the way till now. Being back on staff and have the opportunity to learn from, a Hall of Fame coach. And it's my duty to be able to share my knowledge with these guys coming up, give them an advantage, what they're going to run into and how they might deal with it in the correct way. So, these guys can have a step ahead going forward and, hopefully do big things with their lives. So I'm just passing it forward just like these guys are doing at Syracuse for me. So, again, just super happy and blessed to be in the position that I'm in.
And to be in the position that you're in, there's some unsung heroes, Eric, that I want to shout out here, from Brad Pike to Katie Scanlon to Dan Schwarles to Katie Kalinsky, who's on the show every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. with a signature segment called Coaching with Class, to Todd Blumen and Ryan Kabilis and so on and so forth. Just to speak on the people that we don't hear enough about, and Kip Wellman as well, the director of basketball ops. These names that we don't hear. We always hear Jim Boeheim. We'll hear about you. We'll hear about, obviously Jerry and Adrian and Alan returning from being former players. But to some of these unsung heroes, just what you can say about how Syracuse's entire staff really works well together and finds a way to keep the train moving.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's a family, so no one's, above any individual. It's just everybody's the same. And if, you saw how we work together on a day-to-day basis, it's, it's love. It's all family, man. And, it's not even like we're working really. We're every day we're having fun. We're doing what we love to do. And these are all the people that bring it together. So, just happy to be a part of something super special.
And in closing, Flint water crisis, the coat drive that you've done here in Syracuse, and the other things countless ideas that you have in this community to try and bring people together, and in the communities in general. You have come on this show and spent a lot of time when everything happened in Flint, Michigan. You made it a point to come on to this show, and we spent, I want to say, the better part of an hour discussing very little basketball and a lot about the Flint water crisis. You did the coat drive recently here. Just what you could say about being a humanitarian and to reaching out to people that need it and to try and be a voice for people that unfortunately feel that they don't have a voice.
Well, I believe that's what we're supposed to do. If we have a platform that we can use that would help other people, especially in our community, I think that's how it starts. You want to be able to help people locally in your community and hopefully spread that out to other places as well. But just having this platform, Syracuse basketball, and able to reach out and help other people is what I'm supposed to do. So hopefully people can see me doing that and it makes them want to do the same thing and, have that trickle down effect. And then, eventually, we have, better communities and better states and a better country. So I'm just trying to, do what I think is right to do. And, I'm going to continue to, keep doing it for as long as I can do it.
And finally, to come full circle, speaking here with Eric Devendorf, Boeheim's Army, first game, July 21st. It's on a Saturday. It's going to be in Brooklyn. You're facing the winner of a play-in game between South Jamaica and Philadelphia. What can you say about the fans giving you the votes, making you top 4, and getting you to a number 1 seed? You won the Northeast side of it last time around this past season when you made it to the Final Four. And here you are as the number 1 seed, and you're going to be in the BK in Brooklyn playing this upcoming game. Just your thoughts on that.
Oh, man, super excited. Definitely excited to get back in front of that orange crowd. I know it's going to be packed. It was great last year, the atmosphere, so I know it's going to be awesome again. Just looking forward to getting back out on that court with my guys and competing hard.
And that man named Hakeem Warwick, I don't know if anybody remembers him from that famous block that kept that championship in Syracuse's hands in 2003, but I heard Hakeem Warwick's pretty good. I think he's a pretty good player. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. He's, obviously Hack played with us a few years ago, so it's great to have him back. He's definitely going to add some scoring experience and, just one heck of a player. So looking forward to getting back out there with Hack.
And Deshaunte Riley, I think you said Syracuse is a family. I think if there's any sign, any true definition of that, any true example of the fact that Syracuse is always a family, Deshaunte Riley was a part of Syracuse, transferred to Eastern Michigan, and was welcomed back onto Boeheim's Army with open arms. Just to speak to that, really quick here, and the fact that Deshaunte Riley is a true example how Syracuse family never dies.
I mean, he's like you said, he's a part of the family. I mean, and he's from Michigan, so we're both from Michigan, and that's my guy right there. He's he brings a lot to the table. He's great on the defensive end. He can step out and hit the jump shot. He did great for us last year in our Final Four run, so we're just happy to have him back out there, and we know he'll be good.
And we have some fans on here, Mary, saying, keep up the good work, Eric, and keep doing what you're doing. So a lot of support in the community for Eric Devendorf, and a lot of support for Boeheim's Army in and of itself, and for everything that you've been doing in the community and the outside community, and obviously back in Michigan, which I know is near and dear to your heart. So, as always, Eric, we appreciate the work that you're doing on and off the court. Keep doing it, and keep being the awesome guy that you are, and keep taking care of those girls. We look forward to talking with you soon.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
And happy 10th birthday, I believe. Can you shout out your daughters here really quick?
Yeah, shout out Miranda. She'll be 8, not till August, and then my oldest Madeline, she'll be 10 tomorrow on Wednesday. So, yep, shout out to both of them, definitely.
All right, well, take care. We'll talk with you very soon, and I hope you enjoy the birthday tomorrow.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. That coming from Eric Devendorf one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. And folks, the coughing or any of that you're hearing, that is the beautiful, wonderful world of allergies. I wish it on no one. I wish it on none of. I don't wish it on my worst enemy in the world, and I have no idea who that is, because I don't make enemies in this world. If you want to make me an enemy, I always tell people this: if you want to make an enemy out of me, that's you and 100% you, and you got to deal with that, and you got to fight with that every single day, and you got to have that invisible battle with yourself, because I don't have time to fight with people. I'm trying to bring people together. I'm not trying to bring people apart. So if you're hating on me, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you, because you're hating on somebody that prays for you, hopes for you, dreams for you, and wishes the best for you. So, and Eric Devendorf, I mean, you look at this man, and the way that he was treated in the past, the way that people saw him in the past, the way that he was viewed in the past, to be what he is today, and to do what he's done today. I mean, and he came on the show and said, listen, when I was younger, I made mistakes. I'm not proud of things that I had done, but he changed his life for the better. He is a true example. You don't count people out. You don't think, you don't just treat people like, okay, you know what? I didn't like how you treated me on Tuesday back in 2006. So for the rest of my life, you're a horrible person. People deserve the opportunity to fight forward and the opportunity to show you what they can be. And when push came to shove, Eric Devendorf took it upon himself to help this community, to help the Michigan community, to help the bigger community of this country as a whole, and to do what he can and give what he can give to this planet, to this world. And I commend him for the work that he's done. I commend him for the attitude that he's had. And I commend him for being somebody that says, you know what, I'm not going to slip through the cracks. I'm not going to be a person who makes a mistake and then just makes another and another and another. I'm going to be someone who is going to take care of business and do right by my brothers and sisters out there. And if I know you, I'm going to do right by you. And if I don't know you, I'm going to do right by you. So I want to give a lot of respect. to Eric Devendorf. His journey has been a remarkable one, and he's the first person to tell you he's not perfect, but he's trying, and he's working hard, and he's making something out of his life, and he is the true sign that you should never, ever give up. Never, ever give up on the fact that this world can create some pretty amazing people that can do some pretty amazing things. And, you know, I'm just happy to see him become the person that he is today, to help out the student athletes that come to Syracuse now and to help out the community the way that he has. So shout out to you, Eric Devendorf, for making time for the show every single year, and for treating me with respect, and for doing right by your life and doing right by your girls, because that goes a long way. And like I said, you can count people out, or you can believe that, you know, people do have the ability to change for the better. You know, I work every day to change for the better. So I want to thank Eric Devendorf for his story. We'll take a step aside for a fast break, and we'll come back with plenty more in the second hour of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, including 2020 recruit linebacker Christian Hood, who's going to be speaking with us on Syracuse as well as Arizona and Iowa State. He already has 3 offers with a couple more years to play high school football. He'll be on the show in just a little bit, and we'll round out the show with the ingredients to success, as we always do. Proudly brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and It's a Utica Thing.
This is a wake-up call, Fast Break.
For one day only, Sunday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the CNY Pop Festival brings sports and pop entertainers together, including Syracuse basketball's Decades of Boeheim from Roosevelt Bowie Jr. to Dajuan Coleman, as well as Syracuse football alumni and actors from The Flash, Star Wars, The Gremlins, Power Rangers, and The Addams Family. Come to the CNY Pop Festival at the F Shed at the Regional Market. Buy VIP and pre-sale tickets now on CNYPopFestival.com.
Brought to you by Honda City Liverpool, Utica Pizza Company, and True by Hilton Camillus.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Hi, this is Domenico Vitali, owner of Giovanni's Formal Wear, where you look great and feel even better with our renowned tailoring and alteration services on any suit or any tuxedo from anywhere. Call 315-455-8729. That's 315-455-8729. Stop in locally on Route 11 in North Syracuse, next to the Ponderosa Plaza, where you can choose your style, get fitted, and tailored, all at Giovanni's Formal Wear.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
For all of us that have always wanted our favorite restaurant to come to us, it's now a reality in Central New York with It's a Utica Thing, with Utica Pizza Company bringing their wonderful recipes that they've handed down through generations to you, to your event, to your business, to your home. It's a Utica Thing, proudly bringing Utica Pizza Company on wheels to your location. Call 315-738-8946. That's 315-738-8946 to bring Utica Pizza Company to your doorstep with It's a Utica Thing.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to have you here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, which you can also pick up by going to the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com. Coming up in just a little bit, less than a half an hour, we will be joined by Christian Hood, 2020 inside and outside linebacker recruit who holds offers from Iowa State, Arizona, and Syracuse, will join the show in just a little bit here, so make sure that you make some time coming up here later on in the broadcast. It's always important to listen all the way through to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Never know what's going to happen. The antics, the shenanigans, and of course the interviews that we have and the signature segments like the one that we have every Tuesday that will round out today's show as well. The ingredients to success, proudly brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and It's a Utica Thing. So, with that being said, I hope that you are taking something positive from these stories that come onto the show, including the story of Eric Devendorf's life and just what he's done and how hard he has worked to become the man that he is today, and the father that he is today. So I give him a lot of credit and a lot of appreciation for what he has worked to do, and I think that that can't go understated, shouldn't go understated by any stretch of the imagination. Getting back to Boeheim's Army, which he is a part of and will be playing on, the top four, as I said, they made it. When it comes to votes and how many votes that each of them got, how many supporters each team got, Team Arkansas, filled with Arkansas Razorback alumni, is 2,296. They got more supporters than anyone, more votes than anybody out there this year for TBT 2018. Sideline Cancer was number 2 with 1,729. Louisiana United is in third place with 1,355, and Boeheim's Army, filled with Syracuse alumni, has 1,293 to put them into fourth place. Now, folks, mind you, there are 72 teams, including teams that weren't eligible because they didn't get enough votes. So out of 72 teams, plus all the other teams that tried to get into this thing, Boeheim's Army is in the top 4, and that's thanks to Syracuse fans like those of you that are listening in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora daily right here on wakeupcalldt.com and mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. So just think about that. Just take that all in for a moment, folks. Breathe it in for a moment. That you helped Boeheim's Army, by voting in the TBT, to be in the top 4 teams in the entire nation and even outside of this nation, because you have teams like South Jamaica and this, that, and the other. So I want to bring a big shout out to everybody that's been a part of this TBT. I mean, it's really turned into something that's been wonderful, and I mean, it continues to grow. I mean, you see teams from Queens to Atlanta to North Carolina to Iowa to obviously Syracuse, New York, to those that are that are fighting for a cure for brain cancer, which is Team ABC2, Accelerate Brain Cancer Cure, to teams like Sideline Cancer, to teams like Team ALS to fight ALS, to the Wake Forest alumni, to the Iona Gales alumni, to Tampa, to VCU, to Dubois, I can't even. This morning, I tell you, folks. So, Dubois Dream, to the Rock City Scorchers of Chattanooga, to Taiwan, the South Jamaica Kings, to Memphis alumni, and so on and so forth. I mean, this has truly, truly been a remarkable tournament. And to see what it has grown out to, 72 teams. And like I said, I'm going to do my best to put together a bracket challenge. Now, Johnny said, side question, he wants to know how many people have watched the video of him coming into studio and shaving his chest live on air. So that's, it was a historical day for us. It was Johnny's birthday, which, Johnny, happy birthday again. I hope you had a phenomenal birthday. So it was Johnny's birthday. It was the day after Father's Day. He had never shaved his chest ever once in his life from when he was a teenager. And it's the first time we ever did anything like that on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And we did it on live video and audio. So Johnny wants to know how many people have watched this. At this moment in time, Johnny, we are at over 250 views on Facebook alone. Not including YouTube, Twitter, or anything else. Just on Facebook alone, where we shot the live video on facebook.com/Dan.Tortora21. That's 21. And so on that live feed, facebook.com/Dan.Tortora21, 250 plus views as of this morning. And not even 24 hours later, we're heading toward 300 views of people that have watched you, Johnny, shave your chest on live radio. So that's the answer to your question, Johnny. That's where we're at right now. So we got 250 plus just on Facebook. So shout out to Johnny. Your hairless chest is famous now, and big ups to that. So, and thank you to everybody that watched and was a part of it, because we truly had a lot of fun making some history on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora radio, and I don't think there's a lot of broadcasters that have done the, you lose a bet and you have a listener come into the studio to have to face that bet and do something like shaving their chest live on radio and live on the video that we had on Facebook Live. So I don't know how many people can say that they've done that. We might be the only one. We might be in a minority of someone who had somebody on their birthday shave their chest, who's a listener, who came onto the show and came in the studio. Not even me. You're not saying like I lost a bet and I'm on the show, so I got to do it. This is a listener that we invited to join us in studio. So, and one of the best listeners that we have. So I give a big ups to Johnny for being a part of the show and jumping into this crazy opportunity. But as he said, his lesson that he learned from this is to watch what he says and be careful what he is putting out there, and be careful what he's agreeing to do if he's going to make a bet. And if he's going to make a bet, to make sure that he has a good feeling that it's going to go in his direction. So, thank you to Johnny for being a trooper, being a good sport in this whole thing, and giving us something fun to do on Wake Up Call live video, and obviously here on air on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Coming up in just a little bit, as promised, Christian Hood will be joining the show. 2020 inside-outside linebacker recruit. He will be on the broadcast with us discussing his early offers that he already has from Iowa State, Arizona, and Syracuse. So he'll be discussing that with us. What did Johnny say? Detroit wins the Super Bowl, I'll shave my whole body. Johnny, you've learned absolutely nothing. You have literally earned... I'm sorry. No, he's smart. He did it backwards. He didn't guarantee that they would win the Super Bowl. Sorry, I read that quick, Johnny, and so I read it a little bit wrong. I thought you were going a little bit nuts again. But Johnny said if Detroit wins the Super Bowl, he'll shave his whole body because he doesn't believe that Detroit will win the Super Bowl. So that's interesting here. As I said, Christian Hood will be on the show from Missouri City, Texas. He plays at Hightower. 2020 inside-outside linebacker recruit that's already picked up 3 offers. He's got a trifecta of offers, and he's got plenty of time on the field to play. So big ups to Christian Hood, who's got a lot of time out there to go out there and do what he needs to do and get things done. 2020 recruit with already Arizona, Iowa State, and Syracuse. Already have a West Coast, an East Coast, and a Midwest offer, so he's touching every single part of the United States, which I think is pretty interesting, showing just how vast the interest is in his talents. And Christian Hood will be on the show in less than 15 minutes here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to join us for the first time that he's been on the broadcast to speak on his time in Hightower so far, what he's taken away from Hightower, as well as what the South really is like, playing here in the South and playing where God, family, and football, faith, family, football, the 3 Fs, I believe, and just what that means, as well as what he can take away from Arizona, Iowa State, and Syracuse, the offers that he's received so far, and just what it's meant to him so young in his career, as well as where he's more comfortable, on the inside or the outside at the linebacker position. And then we'll talk a little bit more about his talents and what he wants to work on, and so on and so forth. So make sure that you're keeping it locked right here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Our airwaves are mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Tell your friends. And of course, we're on wakeupcalldt.com as well. So with that being said, he'll be on in less than 15 minutes. I want to hop into something really quick here this morning before we get rolling. And a big shout out again to everybody that is a part of Syracuse's staff, from Katie Kalinsky to Ryan Kabilis to Todd Blumen, Brad Pike, Dan Schwartz, as well as Katie Scalen, so on and so forth. I mean, these truly are the unsung heroes. And I feel that they need to be sung a little bit more and, spoken about a little bit more. So, we really hope for the best with each and every single one of them. I hope that you take the time to see them. I mean, I know that people will ask, Katie Kalinsky started coming on the show and doing her signature segment every Thursday here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, exclusively called Coaching with Class. And we got that in the first couple weeks. Oh, she's that girl that was always sitting by Boeheim, or she was the one on the staff and I saw her on TV and I didn't know who she was or what her position was on the team and whatnot. So we're trying to get those unsung heroes out there. And, it's a consistent effort from me to make sure, not just with Syracuse, but in general, I call it the redheaded stepchild, the person that people don't talk about enough. And I know what it's like to be a redheaded stepchild, even though I don't have red hair and I've never been a stepchild, but I know what it's like to be there, and so do they. So it's my job, my duty, one of my batons, I guess, that I carry in life. One of the things that I take with me in life is to make sure that we're telling the stories of everybody, and not just LeBron James and Steph Curry and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, but that we're telling the stories around our community, that we're telling the stories of Lemoyne, we're telling the stories of OCC, of Oswego, of Syracuse, as well as telling recruiting stories of recruits all over the country, and telling the stories that we tell in Florida, telling the Jacksonville Jaguars story for the past 10 years plus, to the point where they are now, where people don't think I'm insane for some of the comments I've made 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it may be. So if you have a story to tell, we'll connect it here and we'll tell your story, because there are so many people that have stories to tell, and I don't think that we even scratch the surface with a lot of them. Everybody wants to talk to Jim Boeheim, but you got to spend the time speaking with Chuck Wilbur, who's a champion at OCC. Got to spend time with Mike Massera, who's a champion at West Genesee, and so on and so forth. I mean, for goodness sakes, we have had national champions. And, I mean, just in lacrosse alone, what this community has done in Central and Upstate New York is amazing. And I don't think that we take enough time to really appreciate it and speak on it, and to, put these coaches out there. And the thing is to get them out there before they're winning national championships. I think it's important to speak to these coaches before all this stuff goes down, because it's, they expect it. They expect you to call them when they're winning this and winning that and winning the other thing. But it's making the effort, that consistent effort, to speak with them when it's not happening and when they're having a tough season. I mean, when we look at Kathy Taylor, even, who just won a national championship, the first ever for Lemoyne women's lacrosse. I mean, to see that happen here is remarkable. Lemoyne Dolphins winning their first ever national championship, and then, for me to have Jess Meneely just a few days after right after I spoke with Kathy, I'm doing a live event with CNS, the North Stars at Chick-fil-A Cicero, and we're on site on location at 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York, and I'm talking to Jess, and she's going to Lemoyne. So they win a national championship, and now all of a sudden she's going to play for a national championship team, the reigning national champion, and a national championship coach. And it's all in this community. CNS to Lemoyne is not that far, but the nation has looked kindly upon, and that spotlight is on Kathy Taylor and this Lemoyne Dolphins team. So I think there's beautiful stories that are all over our communities and outside of our community as well when we look at regional and national and international. So there's always a story to tell. Never forget that, and always know that if you have a story to tell, that we can tell that story right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora anytime. And definitely we'll make it happen and get you out there. And, we just ask that people are respectful. We ask that people justify their opinion when they interact with us, and that they're nice to one another. Those are the biggest things that we look to do out here, is just make sure that people are being good to one another and that we're spreading love and positivity. And when we have to talk about those difficult subjects, that we do that with strength, confidence, community, and that we're not afraid to do so, and we're respectful of everyone involved in the situation, because people like to talk about things as experts, right? They know everything. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. If we knew everything, we would be God. There'd be no point in being here. So just know that we don't know everything. We know some things, and it's with a community that we can share those stories, and that's why I'm happy I get to share the stories that I get to share. So with that being said, in just a couple minutes, Christian Hood will share his story here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And today, going on in the background, him and I are going to talk football, which is American football, but football, which is soccer all around the world. The World Cup is, of course, in full swing, and Poland is taking on Senegal right at the end of today's show at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and Russia will take on Egypt in their second game. Russia hasn't played in almost a week. They'll play at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and Japan just defeated Colombia 2-1. Japan's my dark horse to be the second team that gets out of their group, so I think that's really interesting that they won their game today up against Colombia, who I know people think Colombia is going to make it happen. So just kind of interesting where things are at, and when we look at Japan and the standings that they have right now, I have Colombia and Japan making it, and then LJ has Poland. So I do have Japan making it happen in this. Japan's at the top of Group H. At the top of Group G is Belgium. At top of Group F is Sweden. Topping out Group E is Serbia, not Brazil, not Switzerland, not Costa Rica, Serbia. Group D, Croatia's at the top. Group C is France. Group B is Iran. And Group A is Russia at the top of that right now. So looking to shake some things up and see what can happen here as we move forward into the games that are today. You know that the World Cup Takeover happens on Wednesdays and Fridays. World Cup Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m., the first hour of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with Zach Bowden. And on Fridays, significant sound bites has been taken over by the World Cup with Lawrence L.J. Papaleo, who played for Poland and is a former professional soccer player in the indoor and outdoor ranks. So we're very excited about what we have coming up with the FIFA World Cup here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I hope you'll be watching the games coming up today. We're going to take a step aside here on the broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we will come back with Christian Hood, 2020 inside and outside linebacker who has offers already as a 2020 recruit, already has offers from Arizona, Iowa State, and Syracuse. He's got looks from the West, the Midwest, and the East. If you're going to get 3 offers, why not get them in all 3 regions of the United States of America, just to show how vast that is? And that could definitely help him out, because if Arizona offered him, then other teams in that Pac-12 region might be saying, well, who's this Christian Hood kid? And then if it's in the Midwest, then you got, okay, the Big 12 and the Big 10 going, so why did they offer this guy? What does he have? Then if you're on the East Coast, you got the ACC and the AAC and whatnot, saying the SEC in there as well, saying, okay, if this kid got offered so early, what are they seeing that maybe we should take a look at? So recruitment starting off well for Christian Hood. And I'm happy that we're going to spend some time together on the broadcast in just a few moments here as Christian Hood will join me for a one-on-one conversation after his trio of offers from Iowa State, Arizona, and Syracuse. So make sure that you listen into this fast break for our great partners in Central and Upstate New York, and then Christian Hood will be on the other side of the fast break in just a moment.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
For one day only, Sunday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the CNY Pop Festival brings sports and pop entertainers together, including Syracuse basketball's Decades of Boeheim from Roosevelt Bowie Jr. to Dajuan Coleman, as well as Syracuse football alumni and actors from The Flash, Star Wars, The Gremlins, Power Rangers, and The Addams Family. Come to the CNY Pop Festival at the F Shed at the Regional Market. Buy VIP and pre-sale tickets now on CNYPopFestival.com.
Brought to you by Honda City Liverpool, Utica Pizza Company, and True by Hilton Camillus.
Gear up with the real deal at Dreisig Apparel, creating what people are going to see and learn about you before they even meet you. Gear up for what you need for your team, business, or event. So look professional, look good, and feel good. Outfit yourself at DreisigApparel.com. That's DREISSIG Apparel.com. The only place to gear up with the real deal. What's the universal language of a fan? Clapping your hands. With Fan Hands, the ultimate sports fan accessory, find your team color, slip them on, and start cheering on your favorite team with 11 different colors, always in stock on fanhands.com, where you'll find the ultimate sports fan accessory. Real fans wear Fan Hands.
Utica Pizza Company spells family. Your family, my family, their family. The recipes that they have shared with each other throughout the years and have now been so gracious to share them with us. I can sit here and talk with you about all the great things that are on the menu. We'd be here forever. So let me say this. Utica Pizza Company is second to none. And now you can bring it home with you and you can dine in the restaurant. UticaPizzaCompany.com will give you all the information that you need. And let me say, these Utica greens, they're the best. Utica Pizza Company. Call them and place your order at 315-214-3060. That's 315-214-3060. Families break bread at Utica Pizza Company.
Consistency is, well, consistently hard to find. Unless you head to 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, the home of the Pen and Trophy Center, who has been serving us Central and Upstate New Yorkers, as well as beyond, for decades. The Pen and Trophy Center on 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, gives you an amazing and unique way to customize a memory today. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. Be it an Employee of the Month award, a sports award, something for your business, engraving for your family, your loved ones, anniversaries, birthday parties, and so much more, including remembering somebody who served in the military. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York. The definition of consistency is pen and trophy. Browse their products on penandtrophy.com. That's penandtrophy.com, and call them for more information at 315-422-8797. That's 315-422-8797.
For all of us that have always wanted our favorite restaurant to come to us, it's now a reality in Central New York with It's a Utica Thing, with Utica Pizza Company bringing their wonderful recipes that they've handed down through generations to you, to your event, to your business, to your home. It's a Utica Thing, proudly bringing Utica Pizza Company on wheels to your location. Call 315-738-8946. That's 315-738-8946 to bring Utica Pizza Company to your doorstep with It's a Utica Thing.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and happy to have 2020 recruit the incoming class of 2020 for college football, Christian Hood, who plays linebacker at Hightower High School in Missouri City, Texas, who currently comes into this conversation with his first 3 offers. So even though we're here in 2018, he's still already got his trio of offers out of the way: Syracuse, Iowa State, and Arizona. Christian, how you doing today?
Doing good. I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. And Christian, to kind of start things off, for you to have 3 offers already, knowing that you have a couple years left to play some high school football, just what that means to you that you already have a trio of offers at this point.
It means a lot. It really does mean a lot. That means that I also have a lot of work to get done because I have a big load to carry on my shoulders now that I have these 3 offers.
And when you bring me into everybody listening in, when you got that first offer and when everything came through.
Basically, when I got that first offer, it was during springtime. I was playing a lot of middle linebacker then, so that's whenever I guess colleges started saying that I could play both outside and inside. So it was a big time my recruitment, and then school started looking at me more after I got that first offer from Iowa State.
And when you got that offer from Iowa State, like you said back in the spring, just, what that meant to you. Bring me into how you found out you got the offer and just how everything came about for you.
Basically, my coach told me to give this coach from Iowa State a call. I gave him a call, and basically we had a little conversation, and he was just real excited. He came to spring practice the week before and watched me, and after I posted my spring highlights, that's whenever basically the whole staff really got on board, and everything was real good after that.
So you get that from Iowa State. You're playing off in Texas. What can you say about that connection? I mean, have you ever been to the state of Iowa? Have you been around the program or anything at all, or was this kind of just something that hit you by surprise?
It really hit me by surprise. I've never really been to Iowa. It's pretty far away, but yeah, it was a big surprise, and I'm very happy it happened.
And to have that offer from Iowa State, how much did you know about Iowa State going into it? When you got that offer, did you know much about the program, or was it kind of, just a program you wanted to look into after you got that first offer?
Yeah, it was mainly just a program I had to look into. I didn't really know much about it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't know much about Iowa State.
What do you think about the program now that you've had some time to look into it? What can you say about Iowa State and getting an offer from them?
Yeah, it's a great program. It's growing, so that's good. By the time I get there, it's going to be a whole different program. So, yeah.
And you have other offers, that inside of the Big 12, and then Syracuse in the ACC, Arizona in the Pac-12. I want to ask you about Arizona, just what you could say about their offer and when that came about. How close was that to the offer from Iowa State?
The offer from Arizona came about a month after Iowa State. It came a few days ago, actually. I was at this leadership camp, and then my coach gave me a call saying that a coach wanted me to call him. So I called the coach up, and same as Iowa State, same as State, because they're very excited to get to talk to me, and that's whenever he kind of pulled the trigger.
So, what did they tell you about why they were pulling this trigger? I mean, you don't have a connection to Iowa State, you didn't have a connection to Arizona. Did they just say, "Hey, we saw something on film we really loved, we wanted to get you on the phone"? What did they say to you about what kind of did it for them? Did they let you know what they saw that really was that icing on the cake to give you the offer?
Oh yeah, most of the schools that are recruiting me, they really like my aggressiveness. Being kind of a short, not short, I don't want to say short, but shorter linebacker. They really like that I have that full aggressiveness, that strength that I play with. So they really like that.
And when you say, the shorter linebacker, just what you could say about, your stature, your size, and to go a little bit deeper into that short isn't a bad thing. It's actually something that you're utilizing to your advantage. So to kind of tell everybody, how you would define that a little bit more.
Yeah, so basically I am 5'11 and a half, 205 pounds, and right now currently. So basically, I feel like I have a lot of explosion going into the field with that size. So yeah.
And with that explosion, you talk about that being a big positive for you. Speaking here with Christian Hood, linebacker, 2020 class coming in for college football with 3 offers at the time of our conversation out of Hightower High School in Missouri City, Texas. If the explosiveness side of things is one of the biggest assets that you have, what are some of the other assets you feel you have, some of the other attributes in your game? And then secondly, what are some of the things you want to work on from here?
Well, I play my game is very fast. I play every rep, every play, 100%, 110% actually, fast, strong, and just explosive. But some things that I want to work on are, I'm trying to get coverage to be one of the top things in my game, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I also play very smart. I play very smart on the field.
And we look at the fact that you're marked down as an outside linebacker, but outside, inside, do you have a comfort level? I'm watching your highlight film here in the studio at the time that we're talking and just kind of going over it a couple times and seeing you come off the edge. But would you be okay if you were on the inside?
Oh, yeah, I'd definitely be comfortable on the inside, outside, anywhere I'm placed.
And when you're, just bring me into your vision, because obviously being on the outside, you got to know where you're, you're obviously going to attack that quarterback, and, there's that opportunity that everybody wants when you're on the defensive side of the ball, which is take down that quarterback that has the ball or take down the running back in the backfield. But your vision, when I'm watching this film, you seem to know your seams, you make quick reactions, quick reads. So bring me a little bit deeper into your vision and, just what you see on the field and how you feel like maybe that's an asset to your game, because it seems like you can read pretty quickly what's going on.
Oh, yes, sir. So basically, I was blessed to have a very good coach my sophomore year, Matthew Gregg. He's now at Kilgore. And we basically in practice, we used to work on reads every single day. And it really helped me develop my game, because when I got in the game, I was able to quickly read the tackles, the guards, and what the quarterback was trying to do with the plays. So that really helped me out. It got me in the position to make some very good plays. And, yeah.
So moving on from there to, like you said, giving some credit to your coaching staff or one of your coaches, when you look at Hightower High School in Missouri City, Texas, what have you learned from that high school? And, are there any coaches specifically that you feel have definitely helped you to improve and escalate your game at this point?
Oh, yeah, like I said, last year I had a coach named Matthew Gregg. He was a very, very good coach. He unfortunately is not here at Hightower anymore. But yeah, he was a very good coach for me. And then my head coach, Pedro McGinnis, he's a very good motivator. He's a very good coach. And yeah, there's a lot of good coaches at Hightower.
And, having that coaching change, for you, Christian, you're kind of getting to learn what college football is like before college football, and that, coaches come and go and they change. How do you feel moving into the next couple seasons, not having a coach there that's done so much for you? Just what you can say about, kind of navigating through the fact that a coach you feel has had a big impact on you is not going to be there.
It hurts a little, but you always have to keep moving forward and stay disciplined. I will always listen to whatever coach is in command. I don't really have a huge problem with having to move coach to coach, because I feel that any coach is going to know what they're talking about and going to give me their all. So I'm happy to be with any coach. It's a blessing.
Speaking here with Christian Hood, a linebacker at Hightower High School in Missouri City, Texas, with 3 offers. We spoke about Arizona and Iowa State. The third one that we haven't spoken about yet is Syracuse. What can you say about your connection to Syracuse? When did the offer come about? And then secondly, how much did you know about Syracuse when you got that offer?
I really didn't know much about Syracuse. I just knew that it was a good academic school. But the offer came about during the springtime as well. And yeah, it was a big moment to get my second offer from Syracuse. I didn't actually know that they like played in a dome, so that was pretty cool to learn about. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to know more about Syracuse and getting to know the coaches and everything up at Syracuse.
And how did, when you got that offer, how did that come about? Do you have a coach at Syracuse that you've gotten to build a relationship with at this point yet, or no?
Not really like a strong relationship, because I can't really communicate as well until like September 1st. But the coach that I did get to like have a few conversations with was Coach Kirk he used to coach at Manville. And yeah.
And what can you say about your interactions there? Like you said, you can't have many, but the ones that you got to have with Syracuse, just what you could say about Coach Kirk and what you took away from that.
I can just tell he's a great man. I watched him as he was coaching a state championship game, and it was a good opportunity to get to talk to him. And I feel like they have something very special in Syracuse.
What is it that makes you say that? What is it about Syracuse that makes you feel like there's something there?
Just like the type of school. I watched like some games, the way they play. It's just something about it's going to be really good in the next few years.
And when you said Coach Kirk Martin, quarterback's coach for the team, even though he's on the offensive side, I mean, recruiting coaches have regions and whatnot. You talked a little bit about his personality. What do you like about him? Does he separate himself from some of the other coaches that you've spoken to? Just kind of to go a little bit deeper, because Kirk is a new coach on this Syracuse team. So what ultimately did you take away from his personality and how he treated you?
I took away that he was definitely like a very humble man. He was definitely like a man of Christ, and I really liked that in him. And yeah, he really made a good impression.
And to go a little bit further on that, like you said, being a man of Christ and how important that is. I mean, the irony of your name being Christian, and I'm sure being Christian when you mention that. What role has God played in your life, and what does God mean to you in your life?
God's played like a very strong role in my life. Recently, I've been starting to get closer and closer to Him, reading my Bible a lot more, and I'm gonna start like a little Christian group, hopefully in this upcoming year, with like my football team and probably some of the rest of the school. So.
And what do you want to do with that group? Go a little bit deeper in that Christian group. What do you want to kind of do as this group and heading up this group?
With this group, I kind of want to like transform the lives of our young people. Like I see like walking down the street, walking in my society, I see a lot of people slipping and failing to realize like what God has to offer. So I want to kind of like enlighten the minds of a lot of people and help them get closer to God.
And the relationship that you had, where did that start from? Where do you kind of remember first having God in your life?
Probably, I've really had in my life, my whole life. I've been going to church with my family, and yeah.
And to keep that going, I mean, you're obviously a young man now, Christian. What makes you stay close and stay connected to God? I mean, in a world that sometimes feels like they're not paying attention to God, what keeps you paying attention?
Well, I try to surround myself with good people. I don't really let myself get around people who might take me away. I try to get them over to my side. Like I have some very good religious friends, and they always motivate me to stay close to God. And if I ever do slip, like it's good to have them to get me back on track.
And to look at that support system you have, who would you consider to be the closest to you? Be it a family member, friend, coach, teammate. Who are those that you feel like are the ones that are, always helping you to stay on the positive path and take care of yourself?
I would start off like my mother and my father. They've always been good influences on me. And then there's a few other teammates. One, he actually came here to Hightower from a different school just this past year. He used to go to Hightower when I was a freshman. He's actually going to be going into his senior year. And yeah, he's very religious. His name is Amadi Thomas. He plays linebacker as well. And yeah, he's very religious, and he also helped me to, get close to God.
And as you move forward here, Christian, looking at these, going back to, everything that you have in front of you and the couple seasons that you have in high school, staying close to God, staying on the path, doing the things that you feel are best. I mean, everybody has a checklist of what they need to see from a school. So when you're focusing and zeroing in and praying on it, what are some of the things that you want to see a school give you that are the kind of they have to be there? They're the ones that you can't negotiate on. What are some things on your checklist that would make you say yes to a school?
Like just for example, a couple things that would have to kind of be there would be, for one, like a great education. Like I want to be able to get a good degree and everything while I'm at a school. And another thing would be like a very strong like Christian community there. Those are two pretty important things.
And as far as visiting, when it comes to Iowa State, Arizona, and Syracuse, do you want to go out and see them? And if so, when would you hope to be able to do something like that?
Probably this coming up fall. Probably come and see like a football game or something like that. Maybe towards the end of the summer, but that's not certain as of right now.
And would you want to see all three of the schools, or do you just have one or two on the list that you want to see at this moment?
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to see all three of them. There's not one or two that I just really want to see more than the other three. The other two.
And you put yourself in a great situation because you have a Midwest school, you have a West Coast, and you have an East Coast school. So as of right now, with your three offers, you're touching every single region of the United States. Just what that means to you, knowing that your recruitment still has plenty of time to go, and you already have schools in the Midwest, the West, and the East looking at you, feeling that you've done enough up to this point to get offers.
It means a lot. It means that now I have options. I have to keep working to maintain these scholarships, but it means a lot. It really does.
And keeping yourself humble, just what you could say about that in the process, and even to impart some knowledge on other people going through recruiting. You have these three offers. You have an opportunity in 2020 to play college football at the Division I level inside of the Power 5. But just speak on staying focused and staying humble and making sure that just because you have the offers doesn't mean that you are to disrespect the fact that they're there or lose the offer.
Oh, yeah. It's always great to remain humble. Like I was reading my Bible the other day in Book of James. God says, God believes that He rewards those with humble hearts, and so I never want to get to the point where I'm being big-headed about the fact that I have offers. I'm going to treat everyone the same. I don't even discuss offers to people like that. I just wanted to continue to do what I did to get to this point and keep putting in the work.
That coming from Christian Hood. And Christian, in closing here, a mission statement for you. If I ask not just about football, not just about being a linebacker, but in general, if I said, who is Christian Hood, what would you tell me?
Christian Hood is a person who's going to work hard and not let anything be handed to him. And that's something that really defines me and something that I try to live by.
That coming from Christian Hood, 2020 linebacker looking to come in and play outside or inside. Already has three offers from Arizona, Iowa State, and Syracuse as he moves forward here with a couple of more years to showcase himself and what's going on in Texas inside of Hightower. So I appreciate you being a part of the show today, Christian. I know that you got a journey ahead of you, and we'd love to have you back on the show to continue that journey with you.
Oh, good talk to you, too.
This is a wake-up call, Fast Break.
For For one day only, Sunday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the CNY Pop Festival brings sports and pop entertainers together, including Syracuse basketball's Decades of Boeheim, from Roosevelt Bowie Jr. to Dajuan Coleman, as well as Syracuse football alumni and actors from The Flash, Star Wars, The Gremlins, Power Rangers, and The Addams Family. Come to the CNY Pop Festival at the F Shed at the Regional Market. Buy VIP and pre-sale tickets now on cnypopfestival.com.
Brought to you by Honda City Liverpool, Utica Pizza Company, and True by Hilton Camillus.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Hi, this is Kira from Looking Glass Events, where we're always giving you a reason to celebrate. Whether you have a small business, large business, personal event, or wedding, we are available to plan and coordinate your dream event to life. Every detail, every step, Looking Glass Events is working with you all the way. Call us at 315-702-4653. That's 315-702-4653. Or contact us through our website, lgweddingsandevents.com. Looking Glass Events, giving you a reason to celebrate.
Consistency is, well, consistently hard to find. Unless you head to 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, the home of the Pen and Trophy Center, who has been serving us Central and Upstate New Yorkers, as well as beyond, for decades. The Pen and Trophy Center on 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, gives you an amazing and unique way to customize a memory today. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. Be it an Employee of the Month award, a sports award, something for your business, engraving for your family, your loved ones, anniversaries, birthday parties, and so much more, including remembering somebody who served in the military. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York. The definition of consistency is pen and trophy. Browse their products on penandtrophy.com. That's penandtrophy.com, and call them for more information at 315-422-8797. That's 315-422-8797. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. It is now time in the Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora live broadcast every Tuesday for us to round out the show with the ingredients to success, proudly brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and it's a Utica thing. If you don't know Utica Pizza Company, folks, you better get to know Utica Pizza Company. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know what's been going on. But you can't make your schedule so busy to the point where you're not going out and getting the best food in Central and Upstate New York. And you will find a menu of numerous, amazing, wonderful, can't get them anywhere else. And if you get them somewhere else even, they don't taste nearly as good. They don't even hold a candle to it. Chicken Riggy's, Utica Greens, the Wake Up Call #1 pick, Chicken Riggy Pizza. There's so many amazing things to get at Utica Pizza Company, and It's a Utica Thing is the product that is in your stores. It's in Stewart Shops. It's in Beacon Skiff. It's at Spira's. It's at Nichols. It's at Price Chopper. All over the state of New York, you can get the Riggy line of sauces: Chicken Riggy, Piggy Riggy, Veggie Riggy,
roasted garlic. So many different things that you can get. The marinade sauce, which is what we call marinara sauce, as well as the tomato pie that you can heat up in the oven 8 to 10 minutes, and it's just like they made it right there at Utica Pizza Company. Put the Parmesan on top, the Pecorino Romano, all that. Just put that right there and brought it out to you. It literally, I don't know how they made something that they could freeze, that when you put it in the oven and take it out in just a few minutes, tastes like somebody just prepared it in the kitchen. And folks, you know when I say something on my show, I put my money where my mouth is. So if I say it, I mean it. And Utica Pizza Company and the It's a Utica Thing line of products is by far an amazing example of great Italian home cooking that can come to your household, or when you're sitting at Utica Pizza Company on 628 South Main Street, North Syracuse, New York, you feel like you're sitting in your home because of the way that you're treated, because of the ownership that's there, and because of the food that is coming out and gracing your plate and then gracing your stomach. So big, big, big shout out to all of the wonderful things that Utica Pizza Company and It's a Utica Thing bring to the table. And one of those things is the Ingredients to Success, a signature segment that we do at the end of every Tuesday broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And the Ingredients to Success for today's broadcast, they have to do with something that Chris Pratt said. Chris Pratt, you know, I like Chris Pratt. You know, I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park, and so Jurassic World and everything that they have been doing with this new line of movies, I am ecstatic about. So to have that and to have him be a part of it, you know, I'm a big, big fan of Chris Pratt. I'm a big fan of him in that, in Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously now in Avengers. But he made a speech, and his speech had to do with ingredients to success. So I think it's only fair that we share it today, since it was so heartwarming and moving to me.
Present this year's Generation Award to Chris Pratt.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I don't want to lean down. I want to thank Bryce and Aubrey. I love you both so much. Thank you, MTV, for this honor. Real quick thanks to my mom and my dad and my brother, Cully, my sister, Angie. I love you. I love our family. We didn't have a pot to piss in growing up, but we laughed our butts off every day, and we still do. And a special mention to my son, Jack, who will watch this one day. Kid, I love you. I love you more than anything in the world. And to the fans, I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you. This being the Generation Award, I'm gonna cut to the chase, and I'm gonna speak to you, the next generation, okay? I accept the responsibility as your elder, so listen up. This is what I call 9 rules from Chris Pratt, Generation Award winner. Number 1, breathe. If you don't, you'll suffocate. Number 2, you have a soul. Be careful with it. Number 3, don't be a turd. If you're strong, be a protector, and if you're smart, be a humble influencer. Strength and intelligence can be weapons, and do not wield them against the weak. That makes you a bully. Be bigger than that. Number 4, when giving a dog medicine, put the medicine in a little piece of hamburger, they won't even know they're eating medicine. Number 5, doesn't matter what it is, earn it. A good deed, reach out to someone in pain, be of service, it feels good and it's good for your soul. Number 6, God is real. God loves you. God wants the best for you. Believe that. I do. Number 7, if you have to poop at a party, but you're embarrassed because you're going to stink up the bathroom, just do what I do, lock the door, sit down, Get all the pee out first, okay? And then once all the pee's done, poop, flush, boom. You minimize the amount of time that the poop is touching the air, because if you poop first, it takes you longer to pee, and then you're peeing on top of it, stirring it up. The poop particles create a cloud, goes out, and then everyone in the party will know that you pooped. Just trust me, it's science. Number 8, learn to pray. It's easy, and it's so good for your soul. And finally, number 9, nobody is perfect. People are going to tell you you're perfect just the way you are. You're not. You are imperfect. You always will be, but there is a powerful force that designed you that way. And if you're willing to accept that, you will have grace. And grace is a gift. And like the freedom that we enjoy in this country, that grace was paid for with somebody else's blood. Do not forget it. Don't take it for granted. God bless you. Please get home safely.
So that coming from Chris Pratt. And yeah, he put some jokes in there to make sure, I'm sure that people are listening. He people get said that they're preaching. If, it's funny the world we live in today, that if you try to help somebody by imparting knowledge and wisdom, and you're just trying to speak your mind in a respectful way, you're not talking at someone, you're talking with someone, that whenever, if you talk about God, someone says you're preaching. If you talk about faith, someone says you're preaching. When in actuality, it's just a cop-out. Because if you're talking about God and somebody's uncomfortable talking about God, then they're uncomfortable talking about God. It has nothing to do with preaching. It has to do with their level of comfort talking about God. And Chris Pratt, like I said, he made some jokes in this thing. Because I think, personally, from my point of view, he wanted to make sure that people were paying attention to what he had to say. He was making it light and airy while deep. It was profound. It was smart. But listen to what he said. There is a God. That God loves you. I believe that. He wants the best for you. We talk about ingredients to success every day. We try to be perfect. We're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. We're not perfect. There's no perfect height. There's no perfect weight. There's no perfect body, anything. People think that there is because the world tells us if you're a woman, you have to have a chest like this and legs like this and a body like this and a waist like this and hair like this. There is no perfection. There is no perfection. If you're a man, you got to have muscles like this. You got to be this tall. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to be able to. There is no perfection. There is no perfect mind. There is no perfect soul. There is no perfect body. There is no perfect heart. You can just be yourself. Those are your ingredients to success. Just be who you are. Be yourself. I don't care if people don't like who you are. Be yourself. If you are, I've said this over and over and over again, and I will say it for the rest of my life, and maybe even from beyond. Don't ever let somebody change you if you're being a good person. How do I know I'm being a good person, Dan? Do you hurt people on purpose? No. Do you go out and try to deliberately ruin someone's life? No. Are you an internet troll? No. Are you lying to people? No. Are you cheating people? No. Are you stealing from people? No. Are you hurting other people? Are you trying to make other people's lives miserable? No. Are you hurting yourself? No. Then you are being a good person. You know what a good person is. We may grow up around this and grow up around this, and yes, there is some truth to being a victim of your environment, but deep down inside of you, you know that killing another human being is not a good thing, that stealing from a human being is not a good thing, that cheating on a human being is not a good thing, that cheating on a test is not a good thing. There's a reason why the bad things are hidden. There's a reason why people have to hide. If it was good, then why hide it? If it was good, then why do it with the door shut? Why do it with the lights off? Why do it closed? Why do it when someone leaves their house? If stealing was okay, if breaking and entering was okay, why doing it when somebody's not there? Why tying somebody up in their own house when they are there? If it was okay to be abusive, then why do people pretend to be really nice in public and be hateful when they're in private with that person? If the things that were bad were good, then we could do them in the light. But bad things are not done in the light. They're not. They're not done in the light. Well, Dan, what about shooters that do things in broad daylight? It is a bad thing being done in the physical light, but get what I'm saying to you. Understand what I'm saying to you. These people are cowards. When they know they're going to get caught, normally they kill themselves because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the inner demons. They don't want to deal with what they've opened themselves up to. You know the difference between a good person and a bad person. You know that inside of yourself. You know that it is not right to abuse and hurt yourself or another human being. You know that. And there are good people in this world. There are people that still believe in God. There are people that still believe in you. There are people that still believe in total and complete strangers. And if Chris Pratt has done anything with that speech at the MTV TV and Movie Awards, what he did in that moment was to tell all of you to not forget where we have come from. The fact that I can sit in my studio, own my own company, and talk on my own mic about the things that matter to me was given to me by my grandfathers, my great uncles that fought in World War II, that fought for the right for us to stay safe, that fought for us to have our freedoms, and the American Revolutionary War. It's everybody that fought in that war, and everybody that fought in the Civil War to say that it's not right to have slavery, and it's not right to treat people differently, and it's not right to divide our country and to make people that are human subhuman and subpar. There are people that have fought throughout history to make this what it is. There are people that have fought for you, for me, so that we can be free. They have done that for us. And I love that. I love that. I love that Chris Pratt said something real, and it brought me to tears, and it still does. I never know for sure if something that I say on this show is getting through to you. The only time that I know that is when you tell me, Dan, it helped me become a better person. Dan, when you said this day, I really needed it. Dan, you go beyond a show. You go beyond, and what Johnny said on the live video, go and watch it on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. And see what he said. I don't know. I just try. You know, and there was a radio station that I was on a few years back before I started my own company. And I was talking to somebody that's still around the radio station, right? Still working for the company. And she said to me, she said, Dan, one day this kid was on the show, and I think he was filling in for somebody or something, and she said, he started talking about God. And he started talking about faith. And I said, oh my God, here we go. And he's going to get in trouble and this, that, and whatever. And she turned off his station. And I was like, and I told her, I said, I talk about God. She said, yeah, but you own your own company. And we know who you are. We know what you're about, Dan. She said, but you know, corporate here, they frown upon stuff like that. They don't want people talking about politics and religion and this type of stuff. So whenever there was a little tiny moment, including in that moment inside of me saying, I'm back at the radio station I used to be on, do I miss it? Do I want to come back? The overwhelming, undeniable answer is no. Because if I'm going to be in a place that will tell me, Dan, we love you, but you can't talk about God. You can't talk about the one thing that means more to you than anything else, the one consistent in your life that has never changed, the one thing that has always been there for you, no matter what. You can't talk about that because it makes us uncomfortable, or it doesn't trend well, or it's not politically correct. I am so proud to own my own radio. I am so proud to have my own live stream, to have all the ways that we get out to you, from the Podbean app to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com to wakeupcalldt.com show archive to right here on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt and the subsequent archive on the same site that archives all the shows after they go live, to Player FM, to TuneIn Radio, to iTunes, to Google Play, to Apple, to all the way to YouTube, because on YouTube all of our shows go there too, and you can listen to the shows on YouTube as well. Listen to them just like you listen to music. So we are in so many different places where I can speak what I want to speak. And I was told a very long time ago on Twitter, Dan, from some random person in society, if you take God out of your profile, if you stop telling us you love God, if you just get rid of God, you would have more followers. You would blow up. You could be so much bigger than what you are today. And I said, I would rather be the tiniest person in the world and have God than be the biggest person ever on Twitter and have no God. Because without God, I am lost. Without God, I am already dead. Without God, I'm gone. So Chris Pratt said something. He knew you were listening. He knew you were watching. He knew the world cared. Pay attention to what he said. Pay attention to what he gave to you. And whether there's one person listening on my feed right now, 500, 1,000, whoever is listening right now, understand that a life without God is a life without happiness. A life without God is a life without anything. If there's something in your life that you love, if there's something in your life that you care about that is positive and is good, I don't want to have all these sub things. You know, hey guys, just go out and be happy. Oh, well, unless you're a killer, unless you're this, unless you're that. You know right from wrong. You know right from wrong. And if you don't know right from wrong, search your heart. Speak to somebody. Sit down and talk about your problems. Talk about your issues. Your ingredients to success are what Chris Pratt said. Laugh at life. Laugh at what's going on in your life. Find some peace in this. Find some happiness in knowing that you can joke around. Believe that there is a God that loves you, because there is. Believe that you have a soul, because you do. Believe that you can change this world for the better, because you can. Those are your ingredients to success. I don't care what you do for a job. I don't care if you're a janitor. My grandfather was. I don't care if you're a business owner. My same grandfather was. He owned multiple companies, put his name on multiple companies, made himself a ton of money, made his family money, and one of his final jobs in this world was a janitor. He was the business owner and the janitor, and he was happy as a janitor. He was happy working in a high school because he could be around the kids, and he loved kids, and he loved helping children. He loved helping the youth of our lives. And I'm guaranteeing you that there are people on this planet that my grandfather spoke to when he was a janitor, whose lives he made better, and today they still remember him. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life or your timeline. If you have the person that you are in love with or you don't, if you lost the person that you're in love with, if she went off with somebody else or he went off with somebody else or somebody passed away, there are things we cannot control in this world. Cancer, AIDS, flu, bunch of diseases and whatnot. There's certain things in this world that we cannot stop. There are certain things in this world that we cannot prevent. We have to accept that we can't stop everything. But we can start good things. You can always start something new. You can't stop everything, but you can always start something. So start today loving yourself. Start today loving your neighbor. Start today when you go and get your mail to wave to your neighbor who you never talked to, who you've judged and probably talked about behind their back. Wave to that person. Say hi. How are you? Don't be ashamed to ask their name again because you forgot. I'd rather you know that that's Robert across the street than never give a damn about Robert across the street. Don't apologize for believing in God. Don't apologize for believing in yourself. Don't apologize for trying. And do not apologize for being the best that you can be. If you want it, go get it. You know if it's good or bad. I'm not saying run and go get drugs. I'm not saying run and go buy a gun. I'm saying if you have a dream, you have an aspiration, you have a desire of something that you want to be and you want to become that is so good and true-hearted and you're doing it the right way, then go and do it. And who cares what anybody else says? Why do we care what other people say? Why do we care what other people say? Don't care about what other people say unless they're the people that love you dearly. And you know who those people are. My mother's opinion of me as a man, that matters. But there are other people in my family that are my blood whose opinions of me don't matter to me anymore. They don't matter. They could look me in the eye and tell me I'm a terrible man and I'm a terrible person. And it always goes back to who is saying it. There are people in my family that can tell me they love me, they hate me, and everything in between, and none of it matters. Because they don't know me, they don't truly love me, and they will never get who I am because they don't want to. The people whose opinions matter are the ones that love you, the ones that show up every single day. I have friends all over the place. Dan, how many friends you got? Well, Facebook says I got over 2,300. But that's not true. Those are people that I network with. Okay? I got over 1,000 on LinkedIn. Those are people I network with. I got over 2,000 on Twitter. Those are people I network with. How many friends do I have? That number is so small. Eric talks to me pretty much every single day. Ross, every single day. My mom. My wife. My little puppy. Lily. She gives me more love than people that have known me for 32 years. So, there's this beauty of the people that surround us and the things that surround us. You know, our pets, whatever they may be. You know, our cat, our dog, our bird, or whatever. Guinea pig. Doesn't matter. When something gives you love, take it. Give it back. Take it. Give it back. I don't care. If you love your guinea pig and that's your little sister, then that's your little guinea pig sister, and good for you. If you love your dog like I do and that's your daughter, and people get on your case, your own parent gets on your case about when are you going to have a child and is rude about it, is evil about it, and you believe that that little dog is your child, is your little girl, you are taking care of her, you would do anything for her, the world is hers because you will fight to make it so, then that's your daughter. If you have a kid who's special needs and you look at everybody else's kids and you're like, oh, well, they're normal or they're this or they're that, love your child. They are normal too. This is how God made them, and God doesn't make mistakes. I am more warm of heart and more brought to tears when I see somebody who has Down syndrome, someone who is intellectually handicapped or maybe takes a little bit longer to learn. I love them so deeply because them being alive means that their parents didn't give up on them. Them being alive means that somebody said, this may be a tougher road than I thought it was going to be a parent, but I'm still going to be a parent, and I'm still going to do this, and I'm still going to fight for these kids. When I see them alive and well and fighting, I know that they believe in themselves, and somebody else did too. And does. Don't ever be ashamed of anything. We live in a world where somebody dies and Twitter, half of Twitter is like, oh my God, rest in peace. And the other half of Twitter is like, yeah, he's dead. Woo, woo. And people are making GIFs of it and they're making fun of it. It's like, when I found out someone died, I did this. It's not about that's not what life is about. Making a GIF, making a joke, making a meme about this. We have desensitized ourselves. We have detached ourselves from each other. When someone if I died today, someone somewhere in the world would make fun of it. I know that. I know that there's sick, twisted, disgusting people that I have met in my life that would be happy that I'm not here anymore. But you know what? I'm never gonna change that. So I can't think about it. And I can't worry about it. And I can't fret about it because it's never going to change. Those sick, disgusting human beings have to live in their own skin every single day. And that is more of a punishment than I can ever give to them. Because if you're a hateful person, as happy as you may look, making fun of somebody else, as good as you may feel bullying somebody else, they are hollow, lonely, downtrodden, and disgusting. And they live in the dark. They can't stand the light. I live in the light, and it's hard to live in the light. It's hard for everybody to see you. It's hard for everybody to know what you're doing, how you're living, why you're living that way. But I'm not afraid to tell you that I love and believe in God. And if that took all my listeners away, I'm still going to say it. Because I know it won't. Running away from God is running away from good. And if you're running away from good things, you need to look inside of you. If you're a person who, when people fall in love with you, you run. When somebody offers you a job, you run. When you get a promotion, you run. When your family wants to spend more time with you, you run. When your sister calls you, you run. When your brother wants to see you, run. If that's who you are, you know something's broken inside of you. If you run away from a gift, you're nuts. But something in your life made you that way, and you have to love yourself enough to not be like that anymore, to not run away from a good opportunity, to run toward it, to run at it, to chase it down. If you run away from good things your whole life, you will only find the other stuff. And if you run toward good things your whole life, you will still find the other stuff. But believe in a God. Believe in something that loves the heck out of you. Not because it helps you sleep at night, but because it's true. It's real. It's tangible. I don't know who's right, Democrat or Republican. I don't know who's right, Muslim, Catholic, Christian, this, that, but Baptist, this, that, and the other. All I know is that there is a God, and that God wants us to be a community, and that community needs to love each other, and that love needs to blossom, and that blossoming of love needs to last every generation until God comes down here and says enough is enough, and I'm ready to take everybody home. I don't know a lot of things about this world that God knows. I just know that when you're good to other people and you believe that God loves you and you trust that God loves you and you're not afraid to tell people that God loves you. I'm a broadcaster. I'm supposed to be this broad, I love everything, but I don't love everything. I don't like when people bully. I don't like when people lie. I don't like when people cheat. I don't like when I see somebody in the sports world or out of the sports world succeed by stepping on the neck of somebody else. I don't like when someone tries to ruin somebody's reputation. I don't like when somebody tries to defame somebody. I don't like when somebody is trying to block someone from doing their job because they're terrified of what that'll mean. I don't like when somebody comes at you in any type of negative way, be it me or somebody else. There's a lot of things in this world that I don't like. I don't like when people want to give power to evil, when people want to believe in the devil and not believe in God. I don't like that. So how am I going to be a broadcaster saying, well, if you're an atheist, that's awesome, and if you hate God, that's cool, and if you want to punch people in the face, that's fine, if you beat your wife, that's okay, and if you forcefully put yourself on a woman, that's all right. None of that's cool with me. It's also not cool with me that people don't think it's cool to talk about God anymore. It's not cool with me that we can't just be who we are and say what we want to say. It's not cool with me that being a straight man who's not African American, that I could be looked at like I'm some slave owner that hates women. Because if you're not black and you're not a woman, then there's people that view you a certain way, where I love everybody and I can't help the color that God made me or the gender that God made me any more than you can. So I think that I deserve opportunities, and I've had opportunities stolen away from me, and not because of the color of my skin, which, by the way, is not black, but it's also not white. I'm in between. So I can't sit here and say I didn't get a job because I'm Hispanic. I didn't get a job because I'm Italian. I didn't get a job because I'm a man. I didn't get a job because of this. I can't sit here and say this, but I can tell you that people try to bar me from getting jobs for other reasons. Reasons in their brain. I had people try to block me from getting credentialed. I had people try to block me from getting a job, block me from having listeners, block me from improving my show, block me from getting sponsors, block me from keeping sponsors, block me from having support. I have had block me from doing a festival. I've had people try to block me all over in every which way. And it had nothing to do with my color. It had nothing to do with my nationality, and it had nothing to do with the sex that I am. But we all have seen or felt or known that somebody stood in our way. So what are the ingredients to success? People ask that question every day. Whether you know you do or you subliminally do, you know that you're always asking, what are the ingredients to success? What are the ingredients to do what I want to do, make enough money, have a great relationship, and live my life out, and be happy, and have my friends, and be whatever? What do I need to do to live a strong, exciting, healthy, happy life? We're always asking what the ingredients are. There's one ingredient that has stirred my pot forever. I believe that God loves me. I believe that God is here with me. And as a broadcaster, it really sucks to say this morning that I feel this big monkey on my back and on my shoulders, and I feel this, the longer I talk here this morning, the more I feel like I'm losing listeners. I'm offending people. I'm afraid to tell you that I love God. I allowed this world to take who I am, and there was nothing wrong with it, and turn it into, oh my God, are these people okay that I'm talking about this? Am I going to lose sponsors? Am I going to do this? I'm going to do that? This is who I am. This is who I am. If I'm a sponsor of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, if I partner with the show, and Dan's talking about God and loving people and doing right by people, and that offends me enough to pull my sponsorship, bye. See you later. Have a great day. Good luck with all the people that are misogynists, sadists, masochists, hateful, horrible people that you will be sponsoring now. Because the other side of me is ugly. If I'm the end of the spectrum that believes in God and you don't want this, well, good luck with the rest of it. Or good luck with the ambiguous, the people that you have no idea what they believe in and what they care about, which makes them even more terrifying because you don't know what they're capable of, because you don't know where their allegiance is. My allegiance is with the big man upstairs. And it's always going to be with the big man upstairs. Because I don't know how not to be with the big man upstairs. But to start off as a professional broadcaster, and I had my first show on ESPN Radio in Scranton, Pennsylvania in 2008. And I was like, God. And to be now in 2018, 10 years later, and I'm afraid to spend a lot of time talking about God because of what that might do to me. That's what I got to work on today. That's what I have to get better at today, is not caring what any of y'all think about how I feel about God. Because for me, the day that I'm no longer on this earth, I want one of the first things that people say is, without doubt, we knew that he loved and cared about God, and that meant everything to him. So I got some work to do. And maybe you do too. Chris Pratt said it. Jurassic World, Star-Lord, he said it. So maybe you listened. I said it. So maybe you listened. We focus on, oh my God, what did Donald Trump say today? Oh my God, can you believe that he said that today? But what about all of us that are trying to say positive things today? This isn't a soapbox. This isn't preaching. This isn't all the things that people want to mask it to be to lower it or diminish it or dilute the product. This is just a boy on a radio station telling you that I love God so much that I would die for him today if he asked me to. My ingredients to success in my life are to believe that there is so much more than what we see and so much at work and what is happening. And if God doesn't exist, well, then you got to tell me why 32 years of overwhelming evidence state it is so. And even if you did everything in your power to make me believe that he is not real, I'm still going to believe. Because it's the only thing I've ever believed in that's always been true. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for the World Cup Wednesday takeover, 9 to 10 a.m. to start off the first hour of the show with Zach Bowden, and we'll have plenty more coming up after that. We'll see you tonight at Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York at 5 p.m. We're doing the show an hour early. We're usually there at 6. It's 5 p.m. tonight, 5 p.m. because two of the players have to go to an event at CNS, so we wanted to make sure that we did this all and got it all set and right and ready to go. So make sure you come out and hang out with us. I will be joined by Connor Hayes, Brandy Feeney, and Jeremiah Willis, who are all nominated for all CNY awards, all being juniors at CNS. So come out and hang out with us. Once again, Connor Hayes, Brandy Feeney, and Jeremiah Willis. Can't wait to see you today, June 19th at 5 p.m. at Chick-fil-A Cicero. Come and get your favorite Chick-fil-A sandwiches, nuggets, grilled. The salads are great. Get whatever you want. Order up your food and have it ready for 5 p.m. so you can hang out with us and see us do our show. We're going to have a great time speaking with each of these athletes. I can't wait for the opportunity to have Connor Hayes, Brandy Feeney, and Jeremiah Willis joining me for this awesome collaboration of CNS Athletics at Chick-fil-A Cicero today, June 19th at 5 p.m. on 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York. In the meantime, God bless you all. Have a phenomenal day, and I hope that of everything that came out of my mouth today, because I feel like I could talk for another hour about this, I just hope you took something positive. The ingredients to a successful life are, to me, it starts with God and it ends with God, and if it doesn't, I don't know how you succeed. Have a great day, folks. I'll talk with you soon.